All right, legends, we are back for our second to last little update here. Round 8 of the Big Bash. Super excited to get into this one. It's going to be a very interesting round given there's only going to be... Every team's got a game. There's no buys and there's no double games, which is cool. So picking your vice captain, your captain is going to be a fun one given a lot of teams won't actually have a looper. If you happen to have grabbed one last week, then that works out well. I grabbed Solzman. There's a couple of, I think Bolden was the name, Burden, one of the two from the Heat. There's a couple other guys as well, and yeah, if you have Sam Harper, there's potentially a loop guy in there as well. So there's a few options for that to be able to potentially VC and captain. You're also likely to have a lot of good players in your side, and it's going to be hard to get the right mix of all of those guys in your 11. I know myself, I missed out on Cooper Connolly. I also left out Billings as well. Two guys that scored 80 plus for us with Billings, and then 120 odd for Connolly. Thankfully got a few good ones, which we'll see in a second when we get into the game day there. 2.4, the team values, it's still fairly low compared to a lot of the top teams, but this is kind of where I've been sitting for a while now, in the mid 2,500s. Finally didn't lose rankings, which was good. So let's get into that now for the for the game day for last round, which is going to be cool. We'll slot into that round 7. So I ended up doing okay. I did lose my Podmasters Cup one, so I'm coming 17th in that. It's been a bit of a slide with a lot of the guys doing well. Public lead, I'm second. I end up beating Mike Hussey, so go me. Coming second in that and fourth in my own JBFA BBL, which I lost by 3 points. So that's a tough one there. But yeah, we'll jump into the Podmasters Cup now. Check out how that ended up for all of those guys. And 1,076 got beat by Ross there at 1156, which was a really nice score. Kai with 1223 is our second biggest there, with Damien at 1248, a massive one there as well. And if anyone got into the 1100s, obviously made some decent cash at that. Obviously with myself making a few ranks there at 1,032. So 1100 was the plus marker. And well done to the guys that are doing really well in the Podmasters Cup. Make sure to follow him on Twitter there. Type in Supercoach Podmasters Cup, Podmasters. It's going to pop up there. Easy for you. So let's get into my matchup and just show you the guys that I end up playing with. And we will go from there. Everton at 123. So worked out he was my single game player that did well. I ended up taking Maxwell 65, and Andrew Ty ended up as a single game player at 20 as well, which was frustrating there on that one. Matt Short 66, and then Hardy was the low one. Crawley had one good innings there, and 119 from Connolly, 95 from Billings at that. So I suppose a question mark here coming into this week is having Harper and Solzman as my two guys that I can loop, and I think it's probably going to have to be enough. And for me personally, I think I'm going to try and get as many double game players ready for round 9 as possible. So 3 Thunder players are going to come into my squad. I did trade out Samsey, so he's going to be a target for my squad, and I'll get in there and show you my team in a minute. Let's get into some of those matches there while we're here. Alrighty, so 5 matches for the round, and just looking at that solely there, it's very clearly still up top. Sixers in that third position. Heat are really doing well, so they do seem to be keeping teams to lower totals. Let's say that, given they did really well to beat the Scorchers in that round before, and then got them in this one as well, keeping them to 168 in reply to 191, and they do seem to be taking a lot of wickets too. So your Perth guys that just don't seem to be as safe, and I think Inglis is the guy in the best batting form, well, after Laurie Evans, obviously. So those two guys in that top 5 are the guys in form. So the ones you probably want to be looking to have in your side, and I think Inglis is pretty close to he's clearly the best wicketkeeper with Ben McDermott at the moment in terms of form. So yeah, Inglis is probably the one guy you really want to stick into and hold on to, and Hardy's probably there for a bit of a bounce back as well. Hobart guys, there's a bit of an average sort of round for them, unless you pick the right ones, in Chris Jordan and obviously Ben McDermott as well. I personally went for Dooley and Mac Wright, and that shot he played righty in that second one, just yes, thankfully I got an Overton wicket from it, but that shot was disgusting, and I think likely due to that, there's a good chance he goes out of my side, but it may just be worth holding on because we know that he can, at Blunston especially, he's one of those guys that could do really well, but he's likely to be out of my side at the moment. And massive game from Chowdhury there in that first one. Getting stumped for none off none was a pretty funny one in at that, but he likely is a guy to be holding in our sides, batting either 6 or 7. and also, bowling a few overs, sometimes 1, sometimes 4, sometimes 2. It's really, really important to have in your side those types of guys, obviously. So him, that cheaper price, easy one to hold there for sure. AJ Ty's an interesting one, but he got that rest just like Dorf did, and those are two guys I think are likely to play the last 2 single game rounds very, very comfortably. In that one, he hasn't been playing his best. Neither is a couple other guys, Try Richardson. So yeah, either one of those guys, if you just think they're out of form, you see Richardson there 48 across his double. Not great, losing some more cash. They're guys that you could move on if you want, but they could also be guys that come back and do really well. So Ty's one of those guys with a really good average and probably worth holding at that. Crawley, it sounds like he's gone now. He left. They was talking on commentary that he was going to be gone after that hit last night, but he's been a little bit of a disappointment as well here in the Big Bash. So that's that with those guys. Not great overall from my side. Just those couple of players each and every week that haven't come out and dominated for us, which is obviously a bit frustrating. But you win some, you lose some as well, and unfortunately, a good amount of losing in my Supercoach squad at the moment. All right, so I'll get in here and do this one quick, considering it's not loading too well. But we're in there with Joe Inglis. I think up top for him, I'm going to trade out Wright. He's gone. This stage, Dooley's going to stay and Chowdhury's going to stay. So one of each of those Hobart Hurricanes, given they play the first game tonight, I'm going to loop both Chowdhury and Dooley. I have Salzman in there. I can move around so he can go down into the bowling slot if I want to loop Dooley, and he could also be used as a captain as well. Things could change as well. I could be moving Harper down into the batter's slot, would be how I double loop if Chowdhury does well and also Dooley do well enough for me to take their score, which could be cool. So Sams comes in. Connolly's gone, by the way. Sanger comes in and Collar Cadmore as well. So Mac Wright, Gornsky's there. Tried his best, did okay. And I had the 62 in the bank, which is pretty helpful as well. So Mac Wright was able to go. I was able to hold on to Andrew Ty instead, which kind of worked out okay. And got rid of Crawley, was the other big one there. So holding on to Hardy, I think to Ty in this one, just because he probably has a little bit more boom. I only have a little bit of cash in the bank, but in this one there, gives me an opportunity, as I said, to loop Dooley, Chowdhury. Salzman could come out. If Chowdhury doesn't do too well, I could play Billings in that one. I could move sort of Billings up to keeper if I wanted to, Inglis down. However we want to play this, if they work out well, Billings can go up to Harper here. Harper could come in. Salzman could come down into that one there. And then, at that stage, I'd probably be taking out either Ty or Sanger is how we'll play that one. I'm going to play Short and Overton straight out. Short will be the vice captain as well. So that's the squad heading into this one. It's solid. As I said, I'm going to accumulate those Thunder guys. Next round, I should say, I'll be looking to target. Could be anywhere between a Bancroft, a Hales up top in the batting order. I think we want sort of that top 3, and they'll be the guys. Could be a Warner as well for that double. See how that goes. That'll be fun. Likely to be a Warner at 125. Not sure if he'll play this current round, but could be there for the next double, which would be cool. And then likely like a Chris Green or something like that in the bowling stocks could be cool, or a Nathan McAndrew if he gets even cheaper. So that's where we're at the moment. That would leave me with a couple of loopers with my Brisbane guys in Billings. I'd also have Salzman. I have Harper as well if they're not playing. So could potentially have the 3 loopers and trade Walter and his price, just to get to be able to get as many good players on the park. We'll see how it plays out on this one. Sams is in. Good news. See how we go on this one. Good luck to you guys. There's obviously other guys you could target in the single game rounds, the Todd Currans, the Will Sutherlands, these type of guys that could do really well. Make sure you do have the Maxwells, Overtons, Matt Shorts, these types of guys. So look into those potential options there, because sometimes those single round guys, especially if they've gotten a bit cheaper, could come in and do really well in these sections here. So that'll do for this one, guys. Appreciate you being here, and we'll see you in the next one.